Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2, and today we are finally starting the modern part of our Jurassic Park 2003 build. Now, for those of you who, for whatever reason, tune in today, this is a series in which I imagine how Jurassic Park would look if it had survived and actually ran for 10 years straight. And the idea about this was that we have like an anniversary kind of, thing going on, and the original Jurassic Park style is kind of outdated at this point, and so they will now go into the more modern part. We have spent the last episodes on building the old part in a very Jurassic Park-ish style, and this is now going to be the Jurassic World styled area, which is a lot smaller because it just began. And today we are going to set the foundation for what is going on. Now, it will be 2 episodes. It's going to be this episode in which we are going to focus on the more or less like the entrance and stuff area, and the next episode will focus on the rest, like with going into some crazy dinosaurs like hybrids and stuff, and making sure that this is gonna be exciting with like a stadium and stuff. And I've got a very cool idea how to do that, and I'm not really entirely sure how it's gonna function in the final detail, but I think it's gonna be very cool nevertheless. Now, today's build is going to be focusing on, as I said, the entrance area and one bigger herbivore area. I'm going to show you in the real-time part how the layout will be set for the next for the next episode. In fact, it's gonna be just one. And then we are done with this whole project, and I'm going to, just share a wonderful big final tour on this, and, also maybe some cinematics and stuff. So this is what I'm imagining. But there is a lot of thought that went into this more modern part. It's going to be easier to explain this actually in-game, but I wanted to kind of dress everything in this modern shape, so to say. As you can see, we used the Jurassic Tour, and I wanted to make sure that the Jurassic Tour is also going to look exactly like this. It's going to look like a modern building. You won't see any of the thatch roofing and stuff left. Same goes for shops and amenities. I just tried to build something down here, and you will see how this all ties together. And we will have also the visitor center, the new one, the Jurassic World one, as kind of a little weenie on top of this little increased hill, which you've seen me putting a little lake down just a couple of seconds ago. So it's going to be all around this, the build. And I'm in particular very happy with how the station turned out in the end. You can see I'm using some of the viewing galleries here to make like a bigger building, and just kind of, trying to hide everything that is just kind of blocking the view, or like actually not blocking, but I'm trying to use a lot to block the view onto the thatch roofing, and also using another station just to have the signage and stuff in front. And I ended up with this sails over here because I figured they just kind of, from the aviary viewing, cover it up nicely, and then trying to make sure that everything looks decent and stuff. And we anyways have the problem that no people are running around, which is a sad thing, because I think it's still the biggest issue of this is still that as soon as you put buildings into each other, it seems to basically get rid of the people. I don't know if they bug in there or whatever happens, but to be honest, for this crazy sandbox build, I don't really care about that, because it's all about the build anyways. And it would look a little more lively if people would be in, but the Jurassic Park guests are not the most lively human beings ever. They're just there, I guess, to be eaten eventually, and just to fill the void of the empty path. They don't spark any kind of happiness or whatever for me. I think they're just there to be there, but it's not like in a game like Planet Coaster or Planet Zoo or whatever, where they really have like a character and stuff. So again, I'm not really too worried about the fact that we don't have any in here. But speaking about the plaza, it's going to be covered now in a bit of more styling. But as I said, I'm going to keep it very modern. We have the tour do a little bit of a round kind of circular run here, just for the people to be invited to this area. And the idea was that you get like a little bit of a more or less that they do speak to you and just tell you a bit about the trivia of this more modern part. And this is why you do turn around here in the circle, so they have more time to speak about this other than having a stop. And this is the main idea, putting like a bit of styling here in the middle, bit of lanterns here and there. I really wish we have more planters and more, individual trees that we can place. That would make so much things easier, or so many things easier. But we don't have them, so we have to work with what we have. And you can see that I'm trying my best here to make it all look at least somewhat nice and modern. And I want to have like a huge contrast to the original park area we have. So it's gonna be a lot more connected, this area. We will have a lot more stadium feel. We have gonna have a lot more facility-ish feel. So there's a lot going on in this area with a lot of buildings, making it all look a bit more urban even. I think urban is a good word to describe what I'm going for. But yeah, so that is the main idea, just putting some buildings down. You can see I'm really trying my best here to connect everything to make it look as if this is like one bigger complex, and working with some inclines to make it look a lot more interesting, as if the building is really built into the mountain and not like weirdly put on top of it. Yeah, using one of the gates here to just kind of have a gate. I guess that makes sense because that's just a viewing gallery. It just didn't work out exactly how I wanted it to work out. But eventually I was happy with how that looked, and yeah. So this is, as far as I can tell, the herbivore area I was speaking about. It's gonna be like something simple I wanted to have here for the people to pass by. It's nothing major. This is the only herbivore area we are going to have in this area, at least a big one. I'm thinking about something smaller, in more or less like a petting area, but yeah, we will see about that. But I just tried to have one bigger herbivore area in here, which is interesting to look at and somewhat builds the center of this area. And then we have the carnivores more or less hidden behind the structures. I'm going to talk about that in a second when we are in the real-time part. But I think this is really the way to go, and this will be very interesting to look at from certain angles. And I'm building this exactly with this in mind, with the angles and sidelines in mind. I will actually delete one of the towers we had at the entrance because I figured this is going to block the view onto this big center. And I was also looking where to put like this tower over here. I ended up raising the terrain a little bit because I figured that didn't look exactly like I wanted it to be looking. You can see this would be blocked by the pathway, so I decided to just, increase the height of the little mountain here, and then just flatten the terrain again to make the pathway look good. And then, as you can see, this is now the way I go for having this slightly increased viewing complex up here, doing a bit of path work, connecting it, and just building that in as like a little bit of a viewing here. Again, we will cover this up later a lot more with like stones and stuff, like boulders and rocks. And I really wish, like, the two things I wish the most to have in this game is a lot more individual smaller pieces, like decoration pieces that have different sizes, like maybe even some archways and wall sets, and like small fences is something I'm really missing. Like we only have these high crazy fences, but it would be so cool to have like visitor fences in like the same system. Like I don't get why we just don't have a tab of like visitor fences. We could have like 5 to 6 styles. I would be totally fine with that. But anyways, let's have a look about this in the real-time part now. Alright, so here we are in the real-time part, and I decided to start this over at the Jurassic Park styled area because maybe some of you guys haven't seen it yet, and so this is the final version. I have a full tour of it on my channel. If you want to see that, I think YouTube did some oopsies with it, and so not everyone saw that. Hey, wait a second, we finally have guests over here. How is that even possible? I was talking about the fact we don't have guests, but apparently we have. Wait, is this maybe... Oh, it worked. So my idea was that it doesn't work because this wonderful arrival point is not really connected because the building is blocking it. And so I put down just another one, and it seems to have fixed the issue. Let's quickly see if they can move through. Sorry about my voice, by the way. The pollen allergy is going crazy. It's kicking in like crazy. Oh, look at that. This looks so much better now with actually guests in here. I'm still standing by what I say. They still look pretty boring and bland, but it works. It seems like they just can't go through walls still, but it's kind of cool that they still move around now. I mean that's kind of nice. So we have finally guests in here. Okay, that's cool, but we're not here for that. This is the big Jurassic habitat, by the way. Look at the Brachiosaurus over here, the Parasaurolophus with the wonderful everything 1993 styled patterns and stuff. I really like these skins. Jeeks, it's looking really cool. It's really, really good. Anyways, and then we still have to think about how we fix up this, but then this is where the tour goes down, and here you can see it. This is the modern area, and I'm quite obsessed with how that looks. Let me just quickly test something. Wait a second. If that is the thing that guests can actually view, like come in like this, it might make sense to consider putting down an arrival point here. Can we just have that one? I think this one looks fine. And this is where the guest path is coming out. So how about putting this like, I think I only need the exit way, right? So if I put this here, that's slightly in the way, but that's okay. And then I'm just connecting this path. I'm just trying, okay? I'm just trying this really quick with you guys here. My goodness, why is this all taken away so much of the forest? I hate this. Anyways, I just want to see if the guest will now come in. Let's have a look. I'm just going to speed up the... Yes, it works. Okay. So that's kind of neat. So we have people coming out of this one now, even though this is just like a scientist. But so we will have people roaming around here eventually as well, which I think is a good one. I think this is good. Okay, so people coming out of this is nice. Let's just throw some rocks behind there just to make that look a little bit more covered up. I hate it. I always hate this if things are not covered up, you know. I just really have an obsession with making things look good, at least seamless. Not like always pretty good, but at least seamless. So just gonna make like a bit of a wall here of these lanterns. I mean, it's not gonna win prizes for the design, but at least it looks as if this is all meant to be this way. Let's see that we just got kind of not hit these barrels. Oh, we are basically hitting the barrels. Ah, whatever. You know, just putting that in and then just connect this over here as well. Okay, it's not the best thing ever, but I think it works. You know, we've got that. Actually, this works like a pretty cool wall anyways. I was also thinking about the fact if we can, and now we can also bring it back to normal speed. If there's a way, like you can use this as a fence, you know, don't get me wrong. You could technically go and make things like that, you know. But first of all, the camera shake effect eventually is driving me nuts, and it would take ages to build a fence like this, you know. It kind of works, obviously. It's still pretty dang high, you know. These pieces are still crazily tall if you consider that's human size. I'm still not sure what kind of lanterns these are. Like, this is just ridiculously big. But okay, this is the build, and this is what I wanted to show you. Let me just quickly get back into the capture mode, and you can see we have some Diplodocus in here. We have some of these things. I forgot the name, and I think some Dracorex are roaming around as well in this habitat. Let me just quickly check. Did I put the Dracos in or the Packies? I'm not really sure which small herbivores I put in. I think it's the Draco, but let me just see. No, is that the Chunkingosaurus? I'm not really sure. Yeah, we've got the Dracorex. So let me just quickly check what animal that was. No, it's the Huangosaurus. Yeah, so I opted for these. Some of you commented these would make a cool appearance in the modern part, so I did this. But what I really wanted to achieve is this vista over here. So let me just go to the capture mode. That is what I wanted to make. Let me just zoom in a little. So that's the kind of view I was working for, having these modern kind of facilities over here, the tour, and then you have the big center in the back. Also, fun side note, I also put like an arrival point next to this building, and I figure it's the innovation center. By the way, I'm keep saying visitor center, but that's the original one. That's the innovation center. Of course it is, and I think it kind of works fairly nice together with this arrival point. But the same thing applies, as I just said. As soon as you have kind of merged that into another building, the arrival points seem not to work anymore and bring the people out. But apparently we fixed that by having one that has a nice access, and I think it fits also quite nice into this facility anyway, so that's kind of neat. So yeah, this is it, and I promised you guys to show you around what's the plan. Now, this side over here is going to be for an aquarium, and this side over here is going to be the area for all the big carnivores, you know. We're gonna have some hybrids. I think I'm not going to go for the Indoraptor, but I'm going to go for the oh my god, why did I lose the Indominus Rex? That's the word. Oh my god. The Indominus Rex is going to make an appearance here as well. And I'm going to try to kind of, you know, see if we have the Carnotaurs here. And yeah, we're going to check. I've got some ideas what we can do. And then there's also going to be like a facility behind here. And this is going to be where the big aquarium is. And I'm thinking about maybe have a smaller carnivore in the middle, but the idea really is going to be that this is all going to be one big complex. So we are going to have it expand into this direction, we're going to have the innovation center expand around, and then we've got going like a stadium vibe going on here. So the idea is that you can go in here, you've got the stadium with like viewing to the inside and outside, and then this habitat is going to have like 3 connected habitats that can be opened, and then you can see like a show or whatever, you know, from them getting in and getting fed or whatever. So that's the main idea I have about this modern part. And then yeah, we have to do like a final connection through here. But the more I think about this, we can kind of get rid of the pathways anyways, and then just reconnect the tour, because apparently that seems to be the only way to go, since we have an arrival point down there anyways. We don't need to bring the people via a pathway. I think it makes sense to have it this way around, and we don't really need like a path connection. Yeah, anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode with the look into the more modern part, and I should go into the capture mode for, oops, wrong button, I needed to press G, in order to show you around the whole picture. I can't get any higher, so I need to zoom out. That's apparently bad, but look at that. I think it's looking fairly decent now. This is the entire thing, guys. This is how the project looks, and I'm feeling more and more confident that this thing in the middle, like the big Jurassic Park open space habitat, is really the center feature of this zoo or this Jurassic Park. And I think I like the contrast between the original Jurassic Park area with the San Diego you know, stadium and stuff, and then having down here the more modern part, almost more white, more concrete and stuff. I think it works very well together. So yeah, that's apparently what we do, and I love the fact that in our mind we can at some point even go on down here and there, and I don't know. I would love even if Frontier could do something like this, have like a map available where there is a connection with the monorail or so in between, but you can only access like this canvas and this canvas, just as it is maybe in other games as well. Getting different things unlocked would be cool, because this map seems to be gigantic, and I can't even fly out in this mode. I think I have to take the, can you even see that if I use the, no, you can't see that if I use the Ansel mode. Okay, never mind then. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm really confident that the next one is going to be even better. So yeah, hopefully you guys have a good day, have a good weekend. I talk to you in the next one, and if you like the content and want to see more of that, as always, you know, subscribing to the channel is making the weather turn beautiful tomorrow, I promise. Somewhere in the world will be sun, somewhere will be snow. No matter what you want, this is going to be happening. Anyways, I want snow. Did I say that? I think I talked about that in last episode as well. I want snow now badly, but we don't have any. So if you guys want to send me some snow instead of subscribing, you can do so as well. Anyhow, have a good time, guys. Stay safe, and I talk to you in the next one.